What did you say when Biden called you and said he wasn't running? Well, I immediately thought of him first. No, you didn't. You know, I mean, fracking. Dana Bash had her dead to rights. I was like, you said this. I have the quote. I'm reading it to you. You said there should be a ban on fracking. Why can't they just go, yeah, you know what? I got it wrong. I was talking to the wrong people. You know, she's had this ridiculously high turnover.
Bill Maher just tore into CNN for blindly praising Kamala Harris while constantly attacking Donald Trump. He called out the network's clear bias and its habit of twisting headlines to favor Democrats, blaming this for Harris's major failures. Maher's critique is fierce and unforgettable. Let's dive in.
I'm talking about the people on CNN and what I know what the conservative side of America thinks, and I don't blame them. They was just gushing about how great a speech it was. And I think she did fine. I didn't think it was as good as they were making it out to.
Bill Maher didn't hold back on CNN's coverage of Kamala Harris. While the network praised her speech as groundbreaking, Maher saw it differently. He acknowledged she did okay, but argued it wasn't the masterpiece CNN made it out to be. Every simple phrase was blown out of proportion, turning ordinary comments into major policy breakthroughs. CNN filled the airwaves with experts and pundits presenting Harris as a political genius, when in reality, she fell short. Maher called out the network for this over-the-top praise, calling it desperate and misleading. Instead of informing viewers, CNN was acting like a PR machine for Harris. Maher's critique cut through the polished presentation, exposing the bias and the gap between the hype and reality. His blunt honesty challenged the narrative CNN was pushing, reminding audiences to question the media's portrayal rather than accepting it at face value.
I don't think that you can say that CNN is anything but fair. Everyone who was speaking last night, it's not like they were all Democrats. I mean, we had Dana Bash, Jake Tapper, Abby Phillip.
They come across
giving
that way.
Analysis.
They come across that way. In a moment like that, it was like 5-1. It always looks like 5-1.
Caitlin Collins tried to defend CNN, claiming they cover Republican events and occasionally feature Republican guests. But Maher wasn't convinced. He admitted CNN does bring conservatives on, but it's never balanced. Panels are stacked heavily with liberals, leaving the lone conservative as little more than token opposition. Then Maher delivered a harsh comparison. He likened CNN's panels to The View, turning serious news discussions into a daytime talk show spectacle. Instead of fair debate, conservatives are often outnumbered, mocked, and steamrolled by a liberal majority. Maher's sharp critique exposed CNN's biased setup and challenged their claim to being a serious, impartial news outlet.
Conservatives do not trust CNN because it is so staunchly anti-Trump. He's not wrong, because they'll put on people like Adam Kinzinger or Anna Navarro, George Conway, and call them Republicans, or pretend that's being balanced by putting them on by saying, oh, see, these conservatives don't even like Trump. Only Scott Jennings over there can be called a conservative. And Maher is right. It's almost always 5-1 on shows they portray as news programs.
Many people distrust CNN, and it's clear why. Their version of balance is just tokenism, bringing on so-called Republicans who either can't make a strong case or barely represent conservative views. These guests aren't meant to challenge anyone. They're props for liberals to dominate. This kind of hypocrisy frustrates Bill Maher and turns off many viewers. People aren't fooled. They notice when a network stacks the deck. That's why many conservatives and independents choose other channels. CNN isn't providing real debate. It's putting on a performance.
Ask you, do you have the time? Your answer is not, I do. If you, do you have the time? Right. Yes, it's 4 o'clock. Well, you have to understand that words don't always mean what they mean.
And when Tim Walz said, like, the American people, I talk like they do. No, you don't. No, you don't. You're a huge liar, like all politicians are. I don't care, by the way. I've always said this about politics. They're all going to lie. They're politics. It's what they lie about. I don't give a what you did during the Iraq War. You were in the Guard. So I don't understand why they just can't. You're just insulting my intelligence.
Bill Maher didn't hold back, sharply criticizing both Kamala Harris and Tim Walz for the misleading claims they made during easy interviews. Walz, with his polished political smile, has been caught exaggerating or outright lying about his involvement in key political and military events, trying to present himself as a seasoned leader. Harris, meanwhile, falsely claimed she visited the border when she hadn't, and her team spun a story that Joe Rogan refused to have her on his podcast. something Maher quickly dismissed. He called out this dishonesty as more than typical politics, seeing it as deception disguised as credibility. Maher argued that the media's gentle coverage only worsens the problem by enabling these falsehoods to go unchecked.
What did you say when Biden called you and said he wasn't running? Well, I immediately thought of him first. No, you didn't. You know, I mean, fracking. Dana Bash had her dead to rights. It's like, you said this. I have the quote. I'm reading it to you. You said there should be a ban on fracking. Why can't they just go, yeah, you know what? I got it wrong. I was talking to the wrong people. You know, she's had this ridiculously high turnover. Like 42 of 47 people as vice president are gone. Just blame it on them. You know why these are gone? Gave me the wrong information on fracking.
That's classic Kamala Harris. Dodge the question, shift the blame, and hope no one notices. It's almost her trademark move. Take fracking, for example. She outright rewrote her past positions as soon as they became politically inconvenient. Then came her infamous word salad moment. When asked what she could do better than Joe Biden, she didn't present a clear vision or policy. Instead, she delivered a rambling, confusing response filled with empty phrases that sounded meaningful but said nothing. Bill Maher couldn't help but call it out because it perfectly sums up Harris's style. Talk a lot, mean very little, and rely on the media to spin it into genius. But more and more people are seeing through the act, recognizing the substance, or lack thereof, behind the polished words.
What the bug up there is about IVF. I mean, I certainly understand abortion. You know, there's a baby growing in the womb. I get it. It's going to be a human. Doesn't bother me. But yes, it is murder. Again, doesn't bother me that it is.
You're not supposed to mess with that. That's what many people think. You're supposed to let.
Oh, I see.
Great man upstairs.
Oh,
yeah, it goes back to that It goes back to that stem cell debate that George Bush had.
Yes.
Remember? It goes like the Terry Shive. It's just like life, laugh. We support laugh.
Bill Maher is clearly off base here. He openly supports ending the lives of innocent babies, children who suffer not because of their own actions, but due to their parents' choices. This glaring moral contradiction keeps Maher from fully aligning with conservatives. On one hand, he rightly criticizes the Catholic Church for failing to protect children, but on the other, he dismisses the value of unborn lives. That's not just inconsistent, it's deeply troubling. Maher wants to be seen as a fearless truth-teller, yet he overlooks the most fundamental truth. True justice can't ignore innocent lives caught in the crossfire of adult decisions.
What explains Donald Trump's appeal to young men? I saw today that the gender gap, I think, is the widest. I mean, it's very predictable. I mean, the women are much more for Kamala, and the men are much more for Trump, generally.
But it's not predictable if you look at past elections where voters under 30, generally men and women, went for Democrats. This is remarkable. I think to explain it...
Wait, you're talking about under 30?
Yeah, the under 30
Why? What's going
gender
on
gap.
there?
It's very different than past elections.
Kamala Harris is quickly losing support among young men, the very group that helped fuel Trump's 2020 victory. The reason is simple. Democrats have long pushed narratives that many young men see as diminishing their role, leaving them feeling sidelined or irrelevant. Instead of addressing this, Harris doubled down on the same approach. When choosing a running mate, she passed up the chance to inspire younger voters by selecting an older, safe pick, which did little to regain trust among disillusioned young men. Meanwhile, Trump took a different route by picking a younger running mate, signaling his belief in their strength and future. This clear contrast is a key reason Harris is losing support from a demographic Democrats can't afford to alienate.
In 2020, young men and young women voted for Joe Biden at roughly the same rate. Over the last 4 years, and now with Kamala Harris, young women are voting for Kamala Harris at that same level, if not more. Kamala Harris has barely moved the needle with young men. They have gone more toward Trump. There's a lot of reasons for that. I think Trump has exploited culture war stuff. He appears on hyper-masculine podcasts, and he just seems like a fun bro who's not going to ban your zins, you know?
These people just don't get it. They mock podcasts celebrating healthy masculinity, treating strong men like some cultural threat. But here's the truth they miss. Strong men build strong families, communities, and societies. Weak men create chaos and dependence, and that's what the left seems to promote. America has already spoken. In 2016 and 2020, millions supported Trump, a candidate who embodied strength, resilience, and resistance to the feminization of institutions. It wasn't just politics, it was a cultural revolt. People were done with being told masculinity is toxic. They wanted leaders with toughness, conviction, and confidence. And whether elites like it or not, that desire for strength isn't going away anytime soon.
This could actually be, this is a real issue for Kamala Harris, though. Like, this could be fatal for her campaign. So if Democrats need to win 60% of the youth vote to win the White House. Hillary came up short. Obama did it. Biden did it. Kamala Harris is right now at like 55% of the youth vote. If she doesn't get to 60, she could lose the election, and it's because young men, Gen Z men, are breaking to Trump.
Kamala Harris faces a political crisis as young men, once key Democratic supporters, turn away. This isn't minor, it's a ticking time bomb. The party's agenda, seen as emasculating and mocking masculinity, alienates many. If Harris wants a chance, she must reject the woke narrative that views strength and traditional masculinity as problems. Until then, young men will see her as part of a movement stripping away their purpose. On Election Day, they'll make their disapproval clear at the polls. Harris and the Democrats must face the truth. Their war on masculinity is backfiring. Token debates and hypocrisy won't cut it. Bill Maher's critiques reveal the cracks. Unless Harris shifts course and respects strength, she's finished. Young men won't cheer her, they'll vote her out. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more.